So Lodge, Stargazer, which one is worth the money? Hey, I'm Jed, this is Cook Culture. So today I'm looking at a Lodge 12-inch skillet and a Stargazer 12-inch skillet. So I'd like to just start off by saying I love Lodge. I sell Lodge, I've sold Lodge for a long time. You get excellent results with Lodge and it works extremely well. So I don't want to come across as biased to Stargazer, but in this critique, this is a pan that is much, much less expensive than this pan. So in some ways, it's not really fair to be comparing these together. These guys aren't making this pan to compete against this pan. That's not the purpose. But there are differences. And if you are thinking, should I spend the money on Stargazer, Butter Pat, a Smithy, a Field, one of the high-end brands in North America, or should I just buy myself a Lodge? And I will say now that it's super clear. I know what the answer is. I'm gonna show you the differences, but the answer will absolutely be that Lodge is extraordinary value. You can't beat the value of Lodge. Lodge is made in a certain way that they have a massive efficiency of scale. None of the small makers in North America are making to the volume of Lodge, nowhere close. It doesn't even come within a fraction of what the difference is between the volume of cookware in which Lodge makes. So part of what we're talking about is just massive scale. So that really does close that quality gap. So when we're trying to decide on an exclusive high-end brand, what are we getting from that? And so today I'm gonna show you what some of the features are, and I will be using a car analogy quite a lot because I find when I'm talking to people in our retail stores about cookware, when you talk about the difference of when you're trying to navigate through spending 30 grand, 40 grand, 60 grand, 80 grand, 100 grand on a car, the differences are similar to what you can talk about in cookware. A $25,000 car will get you from A to B totally fine, like 100%, like no problem, comfortable, brand new car, just got off the lot, you're going from A to B, you've got there, you're safe, everything's great. You go and you spend 100 grand, you drive from A to B, you get to the same place in the same amount of time, but you've done it a little bit differently. And so that's why I love the car analogy. So we will be talking about the car analogy a bit as we start to do some cooking. Okay, so I've taken these two brand new pans, they've never been used before, so that they're even Steven, and I am going to cook some fairly basic things. The end results, to be completely frank, can be nearly identical. And really what we're talking about is a journey of using a pan like Stargazer over one of Lodge. And that's where I've said I'm gonna be a bit biased because the point is that you're buying a very expensive piece of cast iron cookware and the justification. So if you're thinking about it, that I would give me the choice between these two pans, I would definitely buy Stargazer, 100%. I'm biased towards that. But I want to be able to clearly explain why. If I only had a finite amount of money to buy a piece of cast iron, I would buy Lodge, and I would be totally satisfied with buying Lodge. That would be fine with me. But if buying the best for the longest is your goal, because cast iron will last you forever, then I'm going to definitely be advocating for the top brands in the market. And so, I'm not gonna come to some aha moment in this video being like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Now I'm gonna choose this one. I already have my decision. I'm not trying to figure that out for myself in this video. I know what I know. I know that I like every single top-end brand that I've used that is American-made cast iron. I prefer it over Lodge in its usability. Driving from A to B, it's more comfortable, it's got more comfortable seats, and the air conditioning works so well, and the sound and the music is just so fantastic, and I got better visibility, and everything about it is just better. So, but I want to try to show you what that means in this video. So let's get cooking. Okay, so first up, onion test. I've done onion tests in lots of tests for cast iron and carbon steel comparison. I like it as a basic test. But we're going to start with this one first, and we'll do a few others, but we're going to start with the onion test first. I've got these both on a 6, so just 1 over medium. Preheating here for 5 minutes. They're both radiating very well, look like they're ready to go. And so let's get the onions on. Okay, so these are both clean, but completely fresh from the factory. These are the factory seasoning. I haven't done any other pre-seasoning to these except for what comes out of the box. So I'll put in a little bit of grapeseed oil, push that around a little bit. Okay, so we've got one full medium onion. Okay, so something I noticed right away when I grabbed both of these guys is Stargazer makes a really, really nice, comfortable handle. It has an area here that is narrow in metal, so the heat dissipates as it goes up, and it doesn't like to go up the handle that much. It will over time. If I left this on for 20 minutes or so, this handle would fully penetrate and would get very hot. But right now, this handle is totally fine. So is this one right now, but it is getting warm. I can't really do much with that. So what I would need to use is a tea towel. Not a big deal. I use a tea towel when I'm cooking all the time, so not a big deal whatsoever. But this is definitely easy to use, and that is a very, very nice feature of Stargazer. Okay, so there we go. We've done some cooking, we've seen the results. Things are very similar, a little bit of difference on the Lodge. It didn't penetrate on my induction stove top out to the edge as much as I would like. So I had some lower temperature on the outside, things didn't cook as well. I had a little bit on the crepe, so I struggled a little bit more with this, but really it wasn't a massive big deal. I wouldn't want to crank the heat to try to penetrate further because it'd be getting burning in the middle. So a little bit inconsistent in its results, but that's an induction. I know more and more people have induction, so that is an issue, but to people with gas, that would be much less of an issue because you're gonna be able to lick the sides of there and get an even finish. So I didn't love the edge, but other than that, everything else that we cooked, I was able to move all of the potatoes around, all of the onions around, everything there just turned out exactly the same. I really didn't have any sort of a difference. What I did find when I did the cleaning after onions and potatoes, cleaning is a little bit of a different thing. So when I clean the Lodge, it comes clean quite well, but what I find is more difficult is really understanding where the carbon buildup, because it comes with the type of coating or non-stick finish from the factory over a rough cast iron finish. It's not polished in the factory. It's kind of hard to tell what is and what isn't carbon buildup. And carbon buildup is what's going to flake and create problems later on, and that's really difficult. When I am cleaning a Stargazer, I can feel that smooth, beautifully finished, factory finished inside. And if I have any little spots there, I just go at that with my chainmail. I make sure I smooth that down so I get an absolutely beautiful finish again, and that seasons really well, and that keeps my non-stick patina working, and it's just awesome. So I really enjoy cleaning this pan over cleaning a Lodge pan, and anything that has that polished inner. It just is a much easier thing to care for and keep maintained so that I have a better non-stick finish. So that is a small difference, but a big difference to me. The handles definitely between these two pans are massive. This guy stays cool for a long time. This guy heats up really, really quickly. Again, you know, there are some pans, like a field pan has a smaller handle. It feels better in the hand. It is more refined, more finished, but it is a small handle also, and it does heat up quickly. So that is not so much a high end to a low end. This is really a Lodge against a Stargazer pan. I enjoy the Stargazer pan because of its handle. But the point that we're trying to discuss here is, why would you spend money on any high-end brand? And as we saw, the finished result was great. They were close, but how I was using the pan, how much I enjoyed using the pan, was the big difference. So cleaning definitely is a big difference. I really enjoy cleaning all highly polished inner pans. They are easier to maintain. But as I was using this pan, this Stargazer pan, putting my hand to the handle, the finishing on the handle, the smoothness, the attention to detail on how every aspect of this iron pan is polished in the factory and smooth to the touch, it feels great in my hand using it. The details that they have put into this make a difference when I'm using it. I enjoy putting my hand to it, just like grabbing a really nice knife. You have put your hand to a handle of a really nice knife, it feels good, you want to use it. When I touch a Lodge, when I feel it and I look around on it, it's got chunky little bits on it. It's just not an awesome pan to kind of touch and feel. Practically it works and does the job. It's a great pan for the money, but I don't gravitate to it. And that's where we start getting into the difference of a need and a want. So if I need a pan to do a job and just get it done, Lodge fits the bill. It's a great pan. If I want a really great experience and I want to have a pan that I really love to have, and I appreciate the design and the detail that goes into it being a handcrafted item, I want something of a higher end brand. I have Stargazer here, but there are many others, and they all kind of fill the same niche. They put a ton of effort and energy in creating a piece of craftsmanship that you're going to appreciate. And what that means is that when we're buying cookware that here is going to last thousands of years, like, there's nothing too wrong with it, so there's no reason that it's going to break down anytime soon. So like, I'm quite serious when I say it could last thousands of years. It could get passed on for generations to come. And in a pan like that is going to do that kind of job, I appreciate the detail that's gone into a pan like this. You know, in the same way that when we go and buy a car, we appreciate the fine details. You know, why you buy a car with a better package, same car, same engine, same everything, but all of a sudden you've got nicer seats and you've got better trim and a better stereo. Why are we spending that extra money? Because we want it, not because we need it. You know, a car isn't going to last us anywhere near as long as a pan, so my argument is that a pan is better value. But the idea is that you're going to buy this pan and have it for your entire life and want to have something that is so incredibly well manufactured and finished. That is the argument for a pan of this caliber. So, like I said, this is an excellent pan for the money. You can't beat it. Lodge makes the best cast iron cookware for the money on the market. But all of the other high-end brands that are making handcrafted cookware are making a pan that is really heirloom quality. And that is the reason that we're spending the money. That is the reason why we are spending the time to watch videos and make a decision on which brand is the best brand to buy. And my suggestion there is, you know, look at the fine nuances, look at the fine little details in the workmanship. You know, really one pan is not going to work that much better than the other. So if it's Field or Smithy or Butterpat or Stargazer, it's going to be very small between how they're going to work. They are really all high caliber cookware. So, you know, do you love their story? Do you love the founder's story? Do you love the way in which they cast and finished? Do you love the color that comes in? Do you like the box that it arrives in? Like, whatever it happens to be,
It's the small little things and part of the story that you're going to be emotionally attached to your piece of cookware. Because it's going to do its job, just like the piece of Lodge is going to do its job. They're going to be really nice to use. They're going to become non-stick. They're going to do everything that you want them to. So it really comes down to which pan do you want. And that's kind of the best choice you make. You know, trying to be technical when it comes to all the high-end brands, you're splitting hairs. So really look at the one in which just really appeals to you, that looks great, and that you really want that pan, and that's the one to go for. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm here to answer any questions for you. Thanks so much for watching.